All right, let's do it. Let's do it. LSU. I gotta say off the rip, this is probably my favorite roster in college football, top to bottom. I think they're the most stacked team. So obviously, there's a lot of reason for optimism. They have the best quarterback in the SEC, in Daniels. I think they have one of the best receiving cores in the SEC. I think Neighbors is a star. Boutte said he was coming back and then decided not to, which I actually think is a good thing. It was kind of disruptive, but so they're bringing back Neighbors. They have the big kid Thomas. They have a Bama transfer and Anderson that's coming in. Mason Taylor, I think he is a stud young tight end. I think at the end of the season, we're probably going to be talking about him in the Brock Bowers, in the Loveland on Michigan tier of tight ends. Running back, they have a lot of continuity in there, but they added a kid, Diggs from Notre Dame, to add some juice to the room, which I liked. On defense, I think they have the best defender in college football in Harold Perkins Jr. Now, he is a true sophomore, so he can't come out this year. But if he could come out this year, I would draft him before any defender in college football. This guy is a menace. They have the best D tackle tandem in college football, and Mason Smith, who was hurt last year, who was a preseason All American last year. He's got hurt in the first game versus Florida State. And then Makai Wingo, he stepped up and he became one of the best defensive tackles in college football. So they have the best tandem, in my personal opinion, in college football. Those two guys together. So there's a lot to like when you look at this team. When we talk about areas of concern, you have to be concerned that they play in the SEC West. This is a division that has Auburn, there's Alabama, that has Ole Miss, that has Arkansas. This is just a stacked side of the bracket. They play Florida State to start off with, another really good team, a team that got a lot of guys in the transfer portal that's looking to make the playoffs. There's a lot of energy behind Florida State, so you have to be concerned about that. They have Ole Miss on the road. They have Alabama on the road. Alabama, a team that they beat last year on a 2-point conversion. Now, I think that this team is better than last year's LSU team. And Alabama's team is worse than last year's Alabama team. So I don't think that there's cause of concern in any of these games. I think that they're all the better team, but the better team doesn't always win. SEC in particular, it's any given Saturday. Any of these games, you can lose to a team full of 4-star players. So, you have to be concerned about the division. And if they do come through their regular season schedule unscathed, they have to play probably Georgia at the end. So it's not a walk in the park. You have to be concerned if you're any SEC team, especially an SEC West team, of trying to make the playoffs, because it's just a gauntlet. And then you have Georgia waiting for them at the end. I think a lot of teams in the SEC West are probably thanking their stars that Texas and Oklahoma are coming in and they're ending this divisional nonsense, because it was just giving a Georgia moonwalking glide path into the SEC championship game every year. My prediction is that they actually overcome the schedule and that they do make it to the playoffs. Again, I think this is the best roster in college football, top to bottom. They have a lot of continuity. They have Brian Kelly, who I think established himself as one of the best coaches in college football, to take LSU from where they were at last year and put them in the SEC championship game with the outside fringe possibility of making it to the playoffs in his first year. That's definitely a win. I know he's just thanking his lucky stars, thanking God that he is at a program where he can constantly compete with talent, with the Alabamas, with the Georgias, where it doesn't have to be that I know I'm at a talent disadvantage and I have to coach my butt off to win. So I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think it's anybody's game. I think the 4 teams, they're going to make it this year. I don't think it's going to be as years past where everybody knows it's probably down to the SEC team or Clemson. I think there's going to be competitive, and all 4 teams that make the playoffs win it. And I think one of those teams is going to be LSU. All right, let me know what you think. Leave me a comment, subscribe. And as always, the game is the game.